So how in the world did Taylor Swift become so popular? I'm Dr. Dan, I'm a communication coach. I get fired up about the brain, and today we're talking about Taylor Swift. Yes, Taylor Swift, and how she became popular. I think you're gonna be surprised. The thing is this, Taylor Swift does something so well that science proves why it attracts people to her. I want you to be able to use the strategies and principles that have made her so popular for you to have greater influence in your line of work or your business or your industry. You need to know that every human makes a decision based on emotion. This has now been proven over and over again. You look at Antonio Damasio, he says, we are not thinking machines that feel, we are feeling machines that think. Human decision making occurs in the primal part of the brain. This limbic area, this emotional driven center of the brain. It's not logical, it's not factual, it's not rational. So if you want to connect with people, if you want to reach more people and have them pay attention to you, remember you, care about you, then we've got to reach this emotional center. When you chose to be a friend with somebody, or buy something, or go to a specific school, or go down a career path, or marry somebody, it was based on an emotion, not on a rational, deliberate thought process. I'm telling you, even though you may try to convince yourself it was based on emotion. People do things because they feel like doing them for their reason, not your reasons. I've studied this over and over again because I am interested in helping people make better decisions, help mission-driven leaders communicate more effectively so we can make the world a better place. So I'm fascinated by studying human decision making. And one of the things that we yearn for most as humans is being understood. So think about this, when you had a bad breakup in high school, the people that gave you the greatest comfort were the ones who had also been through it. It wasn't necessarily a parent or a teacher, it was a peer that had also been through that same thing. And when you saw that they made it through, it gave you a sense of comfort and confidence that things are gonna be okay. This happened for me just recently. When I had a bad disc injury, I sought advice from a lot of colleagues, a lot of doctors, a lot of experts. But you know who gave me the most comfort? Were the people who had been through what I had been through. The people who had a bad disc injury and were able to come through it because they could share with me the emotions they had. The ups, the downs, the problems, the challenges, the pain, the sleep issues, the driving issues, the bathroom issues. You're like, when you have a disc issue, it affects everything. And I thought, you know what, this is never gonna go away. Until I talked to Matt. And Matt said, you know what? I had the exact same thing. In fact, I had it worse. This is what I did. Here's how it goes. I would text him on the daily saying, uh-oh, now I'm here. He'd be like, no problem. That's exactly what I experienced. You need to do this. Focus on this. Just go here. And it allowed me to have a comfort and a confidence that what I was doing was right and that I was going to get through it. If you study people who have been through a divorce, they are most likely to remarry somebody who has also been through a divorce. Why? Because they find that person who understands. Somebody who's a widow, they will typically remarry a widow because they find that connection through understanding. There's power in being understood, and it helps us have a feeling to connect with another person. So back to Taylor Swift. She does this so well and you don't even know it. I remember in 2005 listening to a radio station when this song came on the radio of a young female artist playing an acoustic guitar. It caught my attention, but you know what got me most was what she was singing about. Most people don't know this about me, but in my early days, I also played in a band, and I have the shell necklace to show it. And so I had a love and a passion for music, and when I heard the song, the thing that stuck out to me more than anything else was I relate with those lyrics. I connect with that song. And if you've heard any Taylor Swift song, as I know some of you have, you do too. Some of you are too embarrassed to even admit it, but you secretly resonate with Taylor Swift songs because you've been through a period of time in your life where you've experienced the things that she is singing about. So is Taylor country? Is she pop? You know what? It doesn't matter because her songs relate. She sings about emotions and experiences, and it's what put her on the map and made her so stinking popular. Science proves this biologically and neurologically. That simply means how the body and the brain responds to emotional messages or emotional lyrics. When we hear a story through a song and we relate with it, we connect with it. We connect with it because there's a hormone called oxytocin that increases in our bloodstream. And when this happens, there's a specific bond that occurs and it increases our trust for what we listen to. This is why the power of story outweighs any other form of communication when it comes to building a connection with another human. Now, you may say all songs have stories in them, specifically country songs, and you'll be right. But here's the thing that Taylor does so well. She sings with vulnerability. Researchers show that when you tell a story that relays doubt and distress, you skyrocket oxytocin levels, which builds a bond and a trust like nothing else could possibly do. So you can see it's science. You know why I love science so much? Is because it's proven that anybody can do it. When you adopt these strategies, like Taylor has, in your own communication, you can build a bond and a trust with people that could never be done anyway else. And so the power of story comes with conflict. There must be conflict in a story. And when I teach this to clients and people all over the world, I get them to understand there's a test in their life and a conflict. But here's the thing that Taylor does is she takes that conflict and she turns it into a catchy tune that makes people relate, but then there's always a resolution. Just like a good movie, it always ends on a positive, upbeat, or solution-oriented conclusion. And so it makes you feel good because the problem was there, the vulnerability, the doubt, the distress, but then the solution, the triumph, the epiphany leaves us with this excitement that I can do it too. And Taylor's songs say, you know what? I feel heard. I feel understood. I'm not alone. And she does this so well because she shares her vulnerability, she shares her story, she shares the conflict within it, and ultimately leaves us with a feeling of resolution. Taylor's Instagram account, her concerts, her bank account all show that people connect with her, people follow her, and people are willing to listen and pay for what she puts out. She is an artist, and there's a reason why she's become so popular. And here's the deal. You can adopt these strategies too. I want to remind you that when you utilize the biological and neurological influence of story and vulnerability and conflict, you will get your prospects, even cold traffic, to know, like, and trust you in a short period of time by nailing these communication strategies that artists like Taylor Swift have perfected. And if you're sitting there, if you need help with this or you want to know more, click the link below. This is what we do all day, every day. I get fired up about helping mission-driven leaders take their message to the world and build value with it, build business around it, sell with it, drive revenue with it, and ultimately make greater influence to make the world a better place. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why Taylor Swift has become so popular. She utilizes the neurological, research-based communication principles, whether she knows it or not. She's put them in place, and you should too.